Hi, my name is Yasu, and I am a licensed real estate agent in Japan. And today, in this video, I want to clarify one thing about a lot of people have questions regarding buying property in Japan versus how can I get the long-term stay visa in this country. And the answer is pretty simple, which is buying property has nothing to do with your visa status. So it means that if you buy, let's say, 100 million Japanese yen property in Japan or 200 million Japanese yen property in Japan or 1 billion Japanese yen property in Japan, no matter how much you actually spend it to buy, it's not gonna give you any long-term stay visa in this country because it's a completely different things. So a lot of people thinking that it's my dream to buy property in Japan and then stay there for a long time. So buying property side is a lot simpler and easier because all you have to do is to find a property that you like, and then you have a bilingual real estate agent, and you make an offer. If the seller accepts it, um, basically done. And then you check all of the contracts, go through the explanation of important matters, and you sign a contract. And on the settlement day, you make sure that you pay all of the money to the relevant parties exact amount, and then on that day ownership of the property is going to be transferred to you. One property or 1,000 properties, it really doesn't matter as long as it's a ownership, it's a freehold properties. You can register under your name and no limitations, no visa requirements. That is why, in order for you to stay in Japan with proper long-term visa, you need to really find another way to do so. In this way, this can be a little bit more complicated because the most easy way is to get a job from Japanese company in Japan and then get a sponsorship from them, and they will do the visa sponsorship, and then you can get the working visa and you can stay here longer. And there has been ongoing discussions that applying for permanent residency visa should be more strict, and then probably it will, especially like they might make it more Japanese ability higher required from people who want to apply for permanent residency visa. And I think applying fee is going to be more higher as well. But again, in terms of getting the working visa, it is a lot simpler and easier. And then with working visa, you can live and then stay in Japan longer anyway. Another one is the business manager visa, that you have this business idea and you establish a company, and an immigration office approves your business plans and everything, and then they will issue you a business manager visa. Usually 1 year or 2 years, depends. It's renewable. This can be more in line with a lot of people who want to buy or invest in Japanese real estate and then get the visa to stay in Japan longer. But that business manager visa has been kind of abused, and now they changed the requirements. I think in this year or including next year, we will see how many people will actually lose the business manager visa, or number of new applications for the business manager visa. Is it increasing or stays the same or decreasing? We don't know yet because the new requirements intact, I think this month or last month, I forgot. So it's just too early to tell anything. But a lot of people think that should be affecting number of applications for the business manager visa. But it's really one of the proper way for you to get a long-term staying visa in Japan. So if you want to establish a company and doing the business in this country, you need to find Shiho Shoshi, or if you have already know lawyers in Japan, lawyers can just provide your service to set up the company for you anyway. That's the way to go. But even you get long-term visa, buying the property is different things, and then vice versa. Buying a property is one thing, but it's not gonna get you any visa. So you need to have two different kind of plans and two different kind of professionals that helps you. One is the real estate agents, who helps you to get the property listings and then all the contracting done. The other one is the shiho shoshi, or lawyer, to guide you and set up the business in this country, and then prepare you to apply for a business manager visa, and then hopefully you get it. And that's really pretty much it. So I hope this clarifies that a lot of people have this idea that if I buy property, this is going to give me a long-term visa somehow, but that's not how it works. So please be careful, because what you want to avoid is you go ahead and looking for property and you find one so that you go ahead and purchase it. But meanwhile, you try to find a way to get the long-term visa, but you couldn't find anything proper. And in the end, you have this property registered under your name in Japan, but you don't have any long-term visa to stay. And you can only come here, let's say once a year or twice a year. The rest of the months, you're not here and you cannot use it. And you might think that, why don't I just rent out? If you want to rent it out by using Airbnb and everything, it has to have a permit anyway. And if you didn't plan it and then buy property, if it is not suitable for Airbnb, you cannot run it. And another option that you might consider is, why don't I just rent it out under the fixed lease term contract, so that I can manage when I would rent it out, and then when I'm in Japan, I can really stay there. It sounds very easy, but it really also depends on how well you prepare for this one. More specifically, how good your property management company is, because let's say you somehow know people, or you have this online community that you can present your home in Japan to those people, and then you let them use your property in Japan when you are not here. How are you gonna charge the money? And when the guest is in Japan, how are you gonna guide them to arrive at your property? How to retrieve the key? How to enter? How to set up everything like electricity, gas and water, furnitures, internet, you need someone on the site to manage everything. So for that plan, even though you might be able to keep getting potential guests, but you still need property management company to deal with. But whether the property management company want to take your property or not, it's really up to you. And if you don't have anyone on the site, there's no way for you to actually manage the property, and you're gonna get into so much issues with guests as well as neighbors. And if your property is a unit in the condo, you're gonna actually have a lot of issues encounter with other owners, building associations, management associations, so on. So even for that idea, the renting out under the fixed term lease, you need to really think before you purchase the property. And then you might really feel like I want to only buy a property that I can do everything. That kind of ideal dream, either you have to pay so much money, or it usually doesn't come to the market because it's such a sweet spot. So those people who have professional experiences, they should have already purchased those properties. So you have no space to get in. Or it might come to the market, but you need to think this way. It's so rare to find such a property that when you stay here, you can use it. When you're not here, rent it out under the Airbnb or like long-term lease. That's what everybody wants to do. And now that property comes to the market. Why? It should have some kind of issues. And so far, we've seen a lot of issues with the properties. And that's why the seller wants to sell it. So yeah, just be careful when you encounter such property. It really doesn't make sense for the owners to sell it right now, especially it's a high demanded kinds of properties right now. And if you really want to take actions to have a buy property in Japan and get a long-term visa, the planning should be the opposite. First of all, you need to really find a way to either get the working visa or business manager visas, that anything that's in line with your plan. And personally, I tell clients that get the visa first so that you can make sure that you can stay in Japan with valid long-term visa. And then you can start thinking about what kind of properties you can consider buying it. And just do it one by one and little by little. You might feel like you're missed out. But if you rush into everything, and then since buying property and getting a proper visa has nothing to do with each other, rushing into everything, doing everything all together, might end up being in situations that you don't get anything and then you messed up. You spend so much money and energy and time, but in the end you get nothing. That really can happen, so please be careful. So that's the way to think, and hopefully that helps. So please be careful, and always look for a licensed real estate agent. And when you encounter someone online or anyone is fine, the first thing that you ask is, can you show me your license? Or are you going to be the one who's going to sign the explanation of important matter or 重要事項説明書? And are you going to be the one who's going to actually sign the contract, my sales contract? Are you going to be the one who is the agent who's going to sign the contract? and then that's going to give you the answer. So please do so. And then if you have any questions, write me a comment, and so that I can answer the questions, and then that's gonna give me an idea that what kind of topics I should cover. So please take care and be careful, and don't rush into anything. Bye bye.